Welcome back to the Scene Podcast, a very special episode this week. I'm going to be going through the 30 lessons from the 30 episodes that we've done. So, had a blast doing this podcast so far. Met so many amazing people and lucky enough to share, to get some amazing guests to share their hot takes and opinions and wisdom. So, I'm just going to go through the article that was posted a couple of days ago on our website and take you through some of the main points and some of the lessons and learnings from all those guests. So I went back and I re-listened to every one in the lead up to writing the article. So 30 hours of conversation, 26 guests, 2 hot takes roundtables with Gabby and Hannah from the Sked team, community managers, founders, agency leads, ex-platform people, comedians, in-house brand names, and a 17-year-old who won a $10,000 challenge with a single TikTok. I noticed a lot of things in the re-listen, honestly. Words I lean on too much, like love that. Interview questions that aren't really questions. The specific moments where guest whole approach clicked into focus. So one thing I can't stop thinking about, though, is nobody on this show ever credited the 2 pieces of social media advice that show up most often on LinkedIn. And that was to just stay consistent and to just be authentic. So across the 30 episodes, the people who built something that worked, Maddie at Kick, Cal in London at Iris, Maddie King at Canva, Sal at Ampersand, Yasmin at EMU Australia, Chris, who's still in high school, working at BTS. And one of the things that really stood out was like being aggressively specific. So specific platforms, specific timeframes, specific numbers, specific creators, specific moments, one specific thing done more sharply than the next person next to them. So that's the through line of the 30 combos, and the thing I want you to leave this podcast with is I don't even know how to say it. Specificity is the strategy. So I think like being consistent is generic, so it produces generic results. So, when you hear someone say like post a 1 minute 30 vlog at 7 a.m. AEST every Tuesday and Thursday for 30 weeks, where the visuals show your routine and the voiceover talks about something completely different, that's specific. And that's exactly what Maddie DeFara did at Kick. So that's kind of why it worked. I suppose part 1 of the podcast and article is the lie of viral and what to do instead. So according to Chris Mansour at BTS, views are the least important metric. Chris is 17. He took a $10,000 challenge to grow his boss's business, to grow his boss Tim's Instagram from 2,500 to 10,000 followers in a month. And he won it with a single video. A 30-second AI narrated false hook reveal filmed in a field, hitting 150,000 views with hours to spare. But the lesson he kept repeating isn't about that video. It's about a different one. A shitpost about buying a 6-inch Subway sandwich that hit 3.7 million views and 380,000 likes and converted exactly 400 new followers. His storytelling videos hit 13,000 likes and converted 8,000 followers. So yeah, that's hence why views are the least important metric. Track follow conversion per post, not raw views. So that's a good little lesson there. Number 2, is treat going viral as the start, not the finish. So that was from Josh Bailey. So Josh spent nearly 3 years at TikTok ANZ before founding Coco. His thought experiment, brand A posts 100 videos, 99 flop, 1 hits 1 million views. Brand B posts 100 videos, everyone gets 5K views with strong retention. Brand B wins because brand A wasted the virality. Actually knowing how to respond to going viral is 100 times more important than going viral itself, he said. So when something hits, reverse engineer the format and run it again 3 times, 5 times until it dies. Lesson number 3. Make organic content, earn its paid promotion. This is from Yazan Al-Tamimi, who ran social for Spotify across the Middle East. So the team used the automation tool smartly with a hard threshold. If a piece of organic content didn't clear 5,000 impressions in its first 2 hours, it never got paid budget. If it did, it auto moved into a promoted pool. 2 consequences. Organic still did 60 to 70% of the heavy lifting, and the bar to earn paid budget forced the content team to make genuinely good work. So organic content had to earn the budget that we allocated for, he said. Another really good episode. Lesson number 4. We spoke to Lena Tuck, and she said trial reels is an A and B sandbox, not a content strategy. So Lena grew Pedestrian TV's TikTok from 500 followers to 40,000. She uses Instagram's trial reels as a cheap A/B test. So post the same video 5 times, each to a different test audience. At least 10 of her trial posts have hit it hard enough that she promoted them to her main grid. So she said you can post the same video 5 times. It'll go to a different audience every single time. And that's a good way to do that. I love that lesson there. Number 5. This is from Gabby from the Sked Social team, an absolute weapon. She says, algorithms have personalized trends to the point they barely exist. So a Halloween trend mashing 4 non-blondes with Nicki Minaj completely dominated Gabby's For You page. Me and Hannah hadn't seen it. None of the trend report creators Gabby follows had surfaced it. 4 people, similar age, similar demo, same country, completely different feeds. Gabby's call for 2026 is, trends are likely going to die on the vine. They're not just going to be worth your time. So verify in a third-party tool like TikTok Creative Center before you jump. Another good episode there. Lesson number 6 is from Jack Delaney from Canva. He says, ship 150 to 200 ads a month or you don't have a paid strategy. So Jack runs paid creative for Canva in North America. The team launches 150 to 200 ads a month across Meta, TikTok, and YouTube. The volume is the strategy. So frameworks, engaging hook, product on phone, output, sign up CTA, things like that only matter once you've accepted that creative output volume is the moat. He says, if I dedicate half an hour a week and batch my videos, half an hour a week is not enough. Lesson number 7 is from Renee Shaw, our very first episode. She says, build a writer's room, not a content calendar. So TLDV's 3-person creator team each own a persona. So Ian does educational AI walkthroughs. Tom, who's an actual cinematographer, does film reference sales sketches. And Renee plays maternal, condescending, and younger sister. Async Tuesday writers call, scripts in Slack. We all just want to be like SNL, but for tech. If you have multiple creators, give each one a distinct character and run a writer's room cadence. Don't let everyone produce in the same voice or you'll lose the show's effect. So a really banging episode that, like, honestly, kicked it off pretty strong there. Lesson number 8 is the 80-20 brand IP to trend. So this is Josh Bailey again. Reoccurring on-camera TV show characters are 80% of what wins on TikTok in 2026. The remaining 20% is repurposing. But trends only land for established personalities. It's the same reason celebrities crush trends. It's not the trend, it's seeing them do it. If you're a solo founder, leading with trends is a losing strategy. A really good episode to bounce in on. Lesson number 9 is plan 4 to 5 meme options per game, then suck it up. This is from Jacob Gaynor. Jacob ran socials for the GWS Giants, now Tassie Devils. He walks into every match with 2 to 5 pre-built meme options keyed to players to name players. So if Toby Green did this, I was ready to go. If Jesse Hogan did this, I was ready to go. When something unexpected happens, he scraps the lot and makes fresh content. So pre-built, reactive, published list. So it's a contingency stack. So really love that episode with Jacob. He's doing amazing things. Make sure you go follow him. Lesson number 10 is build a system that forces you to consume. So Matt Navarra is a weapon. He runs 347 RSS feeds. Every morning, 1,200 to 15 articles are waiting. He skim reads, flags every social relevant piece, rolls it up into the Friday Geek Out newsletter. The newsletter is a forcing function for him to stay on top of constant platform change. So what he said is, I've always felt like I wasn't doing enough. So he built the system that obligates you to learn. Really good episode there. Then we get into lesson number 11, and that's from Georgie Healy. She says, never let AI write your LinkedIn posts. Georgie's brand is built around AI. She uses zero AI to write her actual LinkedIn posts. Even if you rewrite a post using AI, it will put you back in the formula again. So the dot-pointed spicy headline template, she'll lower impressions to keep her voice distinct because readers are pattern matching against AI output and discounting it. So if you've seen that pop up a lot in LinkedIn, you'll know why. Definitely listen to that episode. Another banging one is lesson number 12, and that's from Matt Navarro again. He says AI is the wingman, not the creative director. So Matt's frame is AI is a great starter motor against the blank page problem for repurposing for pattern recognition, but homogenesis but its homogenesis output, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, the moment you stop editing. So he says, I think the way I've framed it is using AI as your wingman and not your creative director. So another good way to think about AI. Lesson number 13 comes from Jack Delaney again. He pointed to a recent study. AI single edit suggestions are pointed and useful. AI's bulk accept all rewrites dramatically robotizes your writing. So his Slack pet peeve messages 15 times longer than they need to be. The tell that someone has hit apply all on ChatGPT rewrite. Lesson number 14 comes again from Gabby. She says where AI will really become a superpower is if you're able to learn how to do automations or scripting or engineering these processes that will help remove the really boring day-to-day admin stuff. So stop using AI to write the caption. Everyone gets the same generic output from the same prompts. Use it to automate the tagging, the reporting, the customer replies, the stuff that eats away in your week. Another great hot takes episode there. Lesson number 15 comes from Sal from Ampersand. She said, authenticity is dead as a buzzword. World building is next. So Sal, on the female founder content category in 2026, every feed looks the same. The cut through is creators and founders building their own world, a reoccurring cast, in-jokes, reoccurring formats, a visual universe. She says the content creators or influencers that are really going to stand out are the ones who create their own world and we're invited into it. Another banging episode was with Lauren Meisner. This is lesson number 16, and she says document before you create. So Lauren built Centennial World from a beauty Instagram into a Gen Z internet culture media network. Her advice to founders and emerging creators parallels by the polished scripted series instinct. Document over create. Test what resonates first, then layer production. Then we get into lesson number 17, and that's from Robin O'Connell from LinkedIn. He says generate 10 plus meaningful comments per post. So Robin's at LinkedIn building out the creative studio. LinkedIn posts that get cited by ChatGPT and Claude tend to have 10 plus multi-sentence comments. Design posts as discussion starters, not announcements. Reply selectively, stoke the flames, keep the conversation alive long enough to cross the threshold. People come to LinkedIn to spend time rather than to kill time, he says. Really good episode if you want to learn more about LinkedIn and how to get the most out of that. Lesson number 18 comes from Cal Ritchie. So Cal's at Iris Worldwide in London. For one of his clients, Brita, the 4,800 mil jug, his team prompted the audience to DM them 4,800 times, screenshotted the exchanges and played them back as content. On another Brita TikTok, a commenter said, 100 likes and I'll get a free water filter. Got 4. Followers hunted through every Brita TikTok looking for the comment, pushing other videos to hundreds of thousands of views. So he says, get a community manager like it's 2026, just get one. Really good episode there. Lesson number 19 is from Shelley Strata. So Shelley, my friend Shell's on Instagram, doesn't use automated welcome DMs. Personal messages to every new follower. One pre-Night Out tablet founder followed her on TikTok. They had a DM exchange. That founder is now first to like, comment, and share on every one of her posts. So she says, trade automation for one real DM to every new follower for a month and watch what happens. I love that tip. And personally, I use that as well. And I think that's a really good way to build community. She also says on lesson number 20, do you think this top makes me look fat? So Shelley's unscripted reactive video after a daycare receptionist asked if she was pregnant. So it had 177,000 views, 4,000 plus likes, 400 plus comments, and a $150 voucher DM'd to her by the shirt brand. It replaced open-ended, what do you want to see CTAs with specific opinion-based questions. Ask them the questions, not get them to answer back to you, she says. Lesson number 21 comes from Medya Ganga. So Medya's it's Medya. I can't believe I keep saying that. I said that in the episode too, so you can have a squeeze at that and watch me stuff up. But Medya is at Zeno London. So she says, tap existing subcultures, don't build your own. I love this advice. So she says the brands ahead of the game in 2026 are not building their own communities, they're amplifying existing ones. So Asics and Solomon at Runs Clubs, the UK canned wine brand Nice, hosting nights where people pitch their single mate to strangers. Lime Bike's East London pop-up that collaborated with a local bakery and a local meme artist. How can we strategically tap into them? She says, before you build a Discord, find the Run Club. Love that. Lesson number 22 is a good one. It's from Jess Smalley. So she says, build the audience around a mission, not a product. Adrian Purr posted a 365-day TikTok manifesto 2 years ago. Sick of the sludge, sick of trend chasing, telling stories instead. Built a movement around the mission, not himself. So Jess, and another example, a 10-year podcast producer, is now applying the same model. Pick a fight worth picking, she says. So audiences rally around a stance, not generic expertise. So really love that little last line there. Lesson number 23 comes from Renee Shaw again. TLDV is big in Japan and Brazil. The team has done significant mapping on where the line is because humor translates badly across cultures. They also stopped doing LinkedIn reposts after data showed reposts were actively hindering follower growth, not driving it. And she says you only punch up, you don't punch down, and check your LinkedIn repost data. So yeah, like localization killed the one global meme. Lesson number 24 comes from Yasmin Cook. She says, recut your best asset. So Yasmin runs social at Emu Australia. A LinkedIn case study, she cited a reel with a trending sound and no copy hit 18,000 plays. Same asset re-uploaded with copy and a voiceover layered on top, got 1 million plays. So before commissioning new content this quarter, take your highest performing asset of the last 6 months and recut it. Love that. Lesson number 25 comes from Maddie Defar at Kick. She says, decouple your voiceover from your visuals. So Maddie posted weekly 1 minute 30 vlogs on Instagram for 30 straight weeks. The trick, she'd show her week on camera, Pilates, work, the city, but talk over the top about something else entirely, missing family, friendship struggles, hard work patches. So she says they were seeing my life through this video, but I was telling them more through the storytelling. So the visual audio mismatch is what kept people coming back. I think that's a really good tip for people who want to build a brand on TikTok. Lesson number 26 comes from Chris Mansour. He says, repeat the format until it dies. So Chris's $10,000 challenge winner, the field false hook video at 150,000 views, got immediately repeated. Another field, then a desert 60K, then went back to a field 10K. He kept going until the format generally stopped working. He says if you went to a Drake concert and he didn't play his best songs, you'd be pissed. So play your best videos. Really love that analogy. I think like sometimes we can just get stuck on new things, but definitely repurposing things that work definitely work. So love that. Lesson number 27 comes from Larissa Andrianakis. This is a really good episode. She says hooks can be crooked canvas, not on-screen text. So Larissa hung a gifted canvas crooked for a TikTok. The annoyed comments became the engagement driver. Hooks don't need to be on-screen text, she says. They don't need to be a verbal, hey guys, come with me. It can literally be something so minuscule. Engineer one, deliberate visual, wrong detail. Love that. Love seeing like the cracks in the screen or the hair on the screen. That's another good one if you want to play around with that type of thing. And to end, we've got a few more good ones. So this one comes from Isaac Peris. So he says the verbatim underserved quote is your wedge. So when Mamma Mia debated launching Move into the saturated fitness app category, audience polling surfaced one quote: fitness apps feel like they're for a 20-something-year-old that lives in Bondi. That's not for me. That line became the launch wedge. Good positioning is not about what the brand says. It's about what the customers repeat back to them. The line your audience repeats is the line. Love that from Isaac. He's a good bloke. And that was a banging episode. Another good lesson, number 29, comes from Lena Tuck. She says, cold pitch with a video, follow up every 2 weeks for 6 months. So Lena emailed Pedestrian TV a TikTok pitching herself for their then 500 follower TikTok role. Enthusiastic reply, then silent. She followed up every 2 weeks for 6 months. She said, hi, me again, got the role. Grew the account to 40K. And her motto in life is, like, how far can I get until it's a no? So I really love that in terms of persistence and resilience and just follow up. She's a weapon. You should definitely listen to her. And the last one is from Kelsey Denuden. Love her work and love this episode. She says, own the mistake. Kelsey was managing emails for a large Tasmanian retailer. A merge tag failed. 25,000 customers received an email that called every single one of them Kelsey. She followed up with a self-deprecating note. Kelsey clearly just wanted all of the discount codes for herself and gave everyone 25% off. One of the biggest sales days the brand ever had. So that's pretty crazy. And she says it was like one of the biggest days in sales I've ever had because we made a mistake, we owned it, but it was a genuine mistake. So honestly, I've loved all these 30 lessons and what 30 episodes taught me about doing the work. I want to come back to where we started because the through line matters more than any individual lesson. So every guest on this show is doing something specific. You know, Maddie posts a 1 minute 30 vlog every week with the audio decoupled from the visuals. Jack ships 150 ads a month. Yazan, organic content, has to clear 5,000 impressions in 2 hours before paid will touch it. Cal's community team DMs 4,800 conversations to make one piece of content. Chris repeats a winning formula 3 times in a row in different fields. Lena cold pitched every 2 weeks for 6 months. Kelsey owned a 25,000 person email send fail with a discount code and made it the biggest sales day of the year. None of these are be consistent. None of these are be authentic. They're 30 exact, repeatable, written down specifics. That's what works. That's what's worked across all 30 episodes. If you take one thing into this week, write down one specific thing that you're going to do that nobody else in your category is doing this week. Not a vibe, not a value, a specific. Then tell me what it is. I read every reply and, we can turn that into some content. So really appreciate all the listeners listening in and hopefully you've extracted some value from the guests. I've got to say I've recorded probably the next batch of like 10 guest episodes and you're going to bloody love it because we get into the nitty gritty of all this sort of stuff and there's lots more wisdom to be shared. So here's to the next 30 episodes and thank you very much for listening. We bloody love it.